transmission from HQ. Our last communication with our agent was 26 hours ago. We expect an immediate rescue. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Understood. Initiating the mission now.
The second most iconic Sonic the Hedgehog character in existence, arguably one of the most craziest additions to the Sonic franchise, Shadow the Hedgehog. I mean, seriously, this guy is almost as popular, if not even more popular than Sonic himself. And that's crazy to think about. I think for the most part, most of my viewers will understand who this character is. But for those of you who may not be a Sonic fan for certain reasons, let's just go ahead and dive into who Shadow is. Shadow actually was created by Dr. Eggman's father, Gerald Robotnik. Gerald Robotnik was making Shadow as a way to discover a cure for an uncurable illness, something that Gerald Robotnik's daughter Maria had. However, it didn't go so well, and it's just gonna get a little bit sadder and darker from here. You see, a certain group known as GUN discovered that Gerald Robotnik was making some sort of device, or in this case Shadow, but they deemed it too dangerous and decided to silence anyone who tried to speak against them. And to wrap things up in a nutshell, basically, they literally killed all of Gerald Robotnik's workers and his own daughter, who was trying to protect Shadow in the process. She managed to actually protect Shadow and told him to save everyone on the planet, aka Earth. But to basically summarize everything else that's happened since Sonic Adventure 2, his original game, he ended up forgetting that Maria wanted him to protect the planet, and so he decided to vow revenge on all the humans. He ends up realizing the error of his ways, risks his life to save everybody on Earth, loses his memory, thinks he's a robot for some reason, and ends up working up with the government group that killed everybody that was on board of the space colony Ark. Yes, Sonic storylines from there on out have just been really mediocre. But now that you know the very brief history of Shadow, let's go ahead and dive into Shadow's alternate color schemes. Shadow's main default appearance would of course be his iconic black and red appearance. His next color scheme would change up that drastically. His fur would change blue, and the red tippings he gets on his quills change to green. If this wasn't an obvious reference, this is referencing Sonic the Hedgehog. His next color scheme gives him a grayish-purple color scheme with a little bit of grayish-white in between, and of course makes his eyes red. This is in reference towards Mephiles the Dark, probably one of the coolest bosses from the worst Sonic game, Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. His next outfit just completely changes up his attire. It goes from a black color scheme to a silver-grayish color scheme, and his red quills turn into pink quills. This references Rouge the Bat. His next color scheme switches up the black fur with red fur and vice versa. Now some people may just say I just decided to invert the colors and it's not really referenced, but you could say this is a reference somewhat towards E123 Omega. The next color scheme changes his fur to purple, and he gets a little bit of pink in it as well. This references Blaze the Cat. And I know this is a little bit of an odd reference, but it's just because I had a hard time coming up with other colors. The next color scheme changes his fur to a light blue color scheme, and this time he gets a little bit of blonde in him. This references Maria. And the final color scheme makes his shoes greenish yellow and turns his fur into an orangish brown color. This references the Bio-Lizard, which was supposed to actually be a way to cure Maria's illness somehow. Now that the color schemes are out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into his special moveset. For Shadow's neutral special, he wields a gun. How many of you actually fell for that one? No. His actual neutral special will just be Sonic's homing attack. But this one will be a lot more different. This charge up move will actually be a lot slower, but deals a lot more damage. For Shadow's side special, he'll use two different attacks depending on how long you hold the button for. If you simply just tap the special button while moving left and right, he'll do a simple charge up move. This will quickly slide him across left or right depending on which directional input you use. this works identically towards Fox's. However, if you charge up the attack, it'll change to him riding a motorcycle. Now before you start raging to me in the comments saying that this is Wario's side special, this one would be a lot different. For instance, you could only turn back once, and you can jump out. And once you jump out, if it hits one opponent, yes one, it will cause a short explosion, which references the cinematic opening towards Shadow the Hedgehog. But most Sonic fans don't talk about this game for a wide variety of reasons. The down special would be Chaos Control, and it works just like the assist trophy does in Super Smash Bros. Shadow just instantly freezes time. But unlike the assist trophy, he can't actually freeze all the opponents at once. He can only freeze one specific opponent. He'll just have a short shockwave that'll actually show you how far away your opponent needs to be in order to actually freeze in time. And the final special move would be Chaos Teleport. I know a lot of people hate teleportations attacks in Super Smash Bros, but honestly I think they're just fine. I understand they do get a little repetitive and annoying, but at the same time, we're gonna add something unique to this. If you hold down the special button long enough, or more specifically, if you press the special button at the end of the move, he'll do a huge shockwave burst, which references Shadow the Hedgehog once again. And finally, the final smash will be Super Shadow. Shadow gets the Chaos Emeralds and immediately does a huge shockwave, causing anybody who's caught in it to be set into a cinematic final smash. Shadow will lift a huge meteor into outer space, and in outer space, you see the Space Colony Arc, which will shoot a massive green laser beam towards the asteroid. Whoever has over 100% damage will be KO'd by this cinematic final smash. This references the true ending cinematic cutscene of Shadow the Hedgehog. The stage will be Space Colony Arc, Shadow's birthplace, as well as the home of arguably some of the most weirdest scientific researches in history. This stage will be identical to Hollow Bastion. You'll always stay within the same platform, but the background constantly moves around, and you'll see different parts of the Space Colony Arc. And when you get close to the Space Colony Arc, you'll see Maria and Joe Robotnik doing some research. And I know some people will probably say that this goes against the rules of the timeline, and I completely understand that, but at the same time, Super Smash Bros. Is known to do that. I mean, why else do you think we got multiple characters in the Fire Emblem series when some of them have gotten older in the main timeline? As an added bonus, you'll actually see the Black Arms race, specifically the asteroid, fly in the background. If you don't know what they are also responsible for Shadow's creation. When it comes to music, Sonic the Hedgehog has quite a lot of nice songs to choose from. It's kind of shocking that there's not that many in Super Smash Bros. And so we're going to add a lot of Sonic songs, specifically songs that represent Shadow. all, there would be a total of 20 songs, 8 of which would be remixes, and the rest would of course be from the original game. And I gotta be honest, I feel like we need a little bit more. But because I have future plans to potentially talk about other characters within the Sonic series, I felt like this was enough for just one character. And that would be if Shadow the Hedgehog ever joined Super Smash Bros. I really don't understand what Nintendo's deal is with not adding more Sonic characters. It's really weird. The fact that they keep bringing back Sonic is okay and all, but at the same time, where's everybody else? It really feels like Nintendo really should be adding more Sonic characters in the next Smash game. But is there a character that you would like to see in Super Smash Bros? Let me know who down in the comments below, and I may make a video on that specific character. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.